here this afternoon to celebrate the life of Karen Wagner. Just a wonderful, wonderful person. She was also known as B-Ma. She had 3 grandkids that she absolutely adored. They were just her life. So I thought I'd start us off with a scripture reading. And it's from Matthew 22, 34 through 40. The greatest commandment. Hearing that Jesus had silenced the Sadducees, the Pharisees got together. One of them, an expert in the law, tested him with this question: "Teacher, which is the greatest commandment in the law?" Jesus replied, "Love your Lord, your God, with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your mind. This is the first and greatest commandment. The second, like it, love your neighbor as yourself. And all the law and prophets hang on these 2 commandments." When I thought about Karen, I went to her Facebook posts. So I have some fun Facebook posts from her. And the first one was actually just a few days before she passed. When God said, "Love thy neighbor as thyself," there wasn't anything in fine print about who is not included. Karen believed that God's love is for everyone. And she really had a heart for those who were disenfranchised. She absolutely had a heart for anyone who felt disenfranchised. And this was another post. Today you could be standing next to someone who is trying their best not to fall apart. So whatever you do, do with kindness at your heart. She constantly wanted people to be kind to one another, to love one another. And she felt herself a little bit disenfranchised. She considered herself a hippie and maybe a little weird. So this one talks to her weirdness. Never hide your weirdness. It scares the boring people away and acts like a beacon to your fellow weirdos. That is probably Karen in a nutshell.
Yes.
So, Karen was very creative. She loved art. She loved to crochet, pottery, anything that's art. Creative people don't have a mess. They have ideas laying around everywhere. That was Karen. She had little projects and ideas laying around everywhere. But her love didn't just go towards people. It was also for animals. She had such a just passion for animals. When you find that people have failed you, turn to shelter pets. People have failed them too. You can heal together.
Yeah.
She loved animals. And she really embraced the hippie concept. And this was a post that I found I just felt was so appropriate. "I don't want to fight, pick, or be petty with whatever time I have left on this earth. I just want to live, love, be loved, and be at peace." And I think that's the message for all of us today. To love and be at peace. So I wanted to end with one more Bible verse, one that's read usually at weddings, but I just thought it was so appropriate because it just encompasses Karen and her love for all. Love is, it's from 1 Corinthians 13, 4 through 8. "Love is patient, love is kind. Love does not envy, it does not boast. It is not proud, it does not dishonor others. It is not self-seeking, it is not easily angered. It keeps no record of wrongs. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres. Love never fails." So as we remember Karen today, we remember her love and to love others. Thank you. You want to come up, Katie?
I think I know. I don't think I met you. I might not have met you. I'm not sure. Anyway, for those of you that don't know me, I'm Sarah or Katie, depending on who you ask. I'll respond to both. Karen's daughter. I want to start out by reading a passage by Donna Ashworth called When I Go. When I go, don't learn to live without me. Just learn to live with my love in a different way. And if you need to see me, close your eyes or look in your shadow when the sun shines. I'm there. Sit with me in the quiet and you will know that I did not leave. There is no leaving when a soul is blended with another. When I go, don't learn to live without me. Just learn to look for me in the moments. I will be there. I picked this passage, or this poem specifically, because my mom, she didn't want us to miss her, which, that's impossible. But growing up, she was everything to me. And she just became more important as we both grew older. She was an incredible woman. She got knocked down over and over and over again by life, but she didn't let it make her cruel. In fact, even on a very limited income, she donated money all the time. She donated her time to volunteer at the animal shelter or the Ronald McDonald House. Anytime the prompt came up at the credit card reader, do you want to donate $1? She always said yes. And then, of course, she would do anything for those she loved. Her final act of giving was donating her organs. She made it known to me from a young age that she wanted her organs donated when she passed. And it was such a common topic of conversation. I didn't even realize that there were people that didn't want their organs donated. I didn't know that was a thing. I thought that was just what people did. Thanks to her, there are 2 other people that get to spend more time with their families. And then there's going to be other patients that will benefit from skin grafts and bone grafts. As Betsy said earlier, she loved art and she loved music. She was an accomplished potter and crocheter and tie-dyer, and she loved making. She loved building things. She loved any type of making. In fact, she has such a large supply of finished projects in this house. I'm going to invite all of y'all to take some of them. She loved her family. And when I say family, I don't mean just the nuclear family or just the people related by blood. She considered her friends to be her chosen family. And everywhere she went, she met a new family member. A lot of you are here because you're chosen family. She loved her grandchildren so much. She was so proud of you guys. She loved traveling. And as you probably all know, thanks to a generous soul, she got to go on her dream trip to Australia a few years ago. But she wasn't done. She wanted to go everywhere. And as I was trying to figure out where to scatter her ashes, it seemed almost cruel that she would have to spend eternity in one location. So to honor her, I'm going to travel as much as possible while I can, and I'm going to take a little bit of her with me and scatter her all over the world. That way, she can continue to travel. Our family has lost a lot of people in the last few years. But it seems especially cruel that she's the most recent one, that she should be in line at all to go. But when it's your time, it's your time. I will miss her for the rest of my life. However, as I keep saying, she didn't want us to be sad. She really didn't. She and I talked about what we were gonna do, when, if the other person died. And she really wanted me to throw a party with maybe a bonfire and drum circle, everybody bring out your instruments and dance around the fire or something. She did not want us to be sitting in a room like this, crying over how much we missed her. So to that end, I'm going to stop crying, and in a few minutes, I will invite you all to eat, drink, and be merry with us, and to share your stories with each other, with me, if you want to. But before we do that, is there anybody else that would like to come up here and talk about my mom? Okay. Well, let's go eat, drink, and be merry.